73% of veteran teachers say Gen Z is destroying education. Are they right? Gen Z teachers aren't just entering classrooms, they're burning down the rule book. They're canceling homework, grading with TikTok, and telling parents to stay in their lane. Love it or hate it, they're rewriting education forever. Here are 11 brutal truths your school doesn't want you to know. Truth number 3. It's why 50% of principals are quitting. Truth 1. Your tenure means nothing to us. Sarah, 24-year-old, walked into her first teaching job with a Spotify's playlist titled Classroom Revolution, and a mission to dismantle every outdated rule she'd suffered through as a student. The previous teacher, a 30-year veteran, left behind yellowed lesson plans praising Christopher Columbus and cursive handwriting. By day 2, Sarah had replaced the history unit on American heroes with a student-led deep dive into systemic racism, using TikTok essays and guest Zoom lectures from Indigenous activists. When the principal stormed into her classroom demanding she stick to the curriculum, Sarah handed him a printed list of 87 student testimonials. One read, "Finally, someone treats us like we're not stupid." The school board threatened to fire her until parents, armed with screenshots of their kids' passionate Google Classroom posts, flooded meetings. "My daughter used to hate school," one father said. "Now she's arguing with me about reparations at dinner. Thank you." Sarah's defiance isn't isolated. 68% of Gen Z teachers admit to subverting mandated curricula and districts, with Gen Z hires report a 200% spike in parent complaints. In their favor, Gen Z grew up watching institutions fail climate summits, gun reforms, crushing student debt. They see traditional education as complicit. Sarah's rebellion mirrors a broader rejection of hierarchy. Tenure doesn't intimidate them because they've built careers on Veraldescent. For every Teacher of the Year plaque collecting dust, there's a Gen Z educator hosting a podcast on grading reform or selling lesson plans on Etsy. They'll quit or get fired before they let a 1990s textbook dictate their impact. Schools with Gen Z teachers see a 45% increase in student engagement. EdWeek, 2023.62% of Gen Z educators have side hustles, compared to 12% of Boomers' NIA survey. Tenure once meant job security. Now it's a scarlet letter. Gen Z teachers equate veteran with out of touch, leveraging platforms like Teachers Paydiokers to redistribute power. One viral lesson plan on redlining can eclipse a decade of stale lectures. Principals are scrambling. When Sarah's school caved, allowing her to pilot a social justice lab, enrollment jumped 30%. Districts that don't adapt, they're losing Gen Z hires to Instagram-friendly microschools where creativity trumps compliance. Truth 2. We're therapy, not just teachers. James, 25-year-old, starts each class with a question. "What's your VIBE score 1 to 10? When a sophomore muttered 2, James scrapped the algebra quiz and asked, "What's stealing?" "Your piece." The student admitted her parents were divorcing and she'd been sleeping in her car. By lunch, James had connected her to a shelter, emailed her counselor, and rearranged his syllabus to include a week of mental health math, calculating therapy costs versus hourly wages. Graphing stress levels. Admin called it unprofessional. Students called it life-saving. Gen Z teachers are rewriting job descriptions. They carry emergency tampons, naloxone kits, and bilingual therapy apps. They've turned detention into detox sessions where kids meditate instead of scribbling lines. And it's working. Schools with Gen Z staff report a 60% drop in suspensions, but a 90% spike in parent complaints. About other teachers, Gen Z's own K-12 years were marred by active shooter drills, opioid epidemics, and pandemic isolation. They refuse to repeat the suck-it-up mentality. James's Vibesker isn't a gimmick, it's triage. He knows a failing grade is rarely about laziness. It's about sleeping in cars or eating gas station dinners. 0.79% of Gen Z teachers spend personal funds on student supplies versus 44% of boomers. Closing parenthesis. Schools with Gen Z staff have 3x more student referrals to counseling APA. 22 for closing parenthesis. Gen Z treats classrooms like urgent care for the soul. They're trained in trauma-informed care, LGBTQ advocacy, and crisis management skills older teachers dismiss as woke overreach. But when James's student graduated and thanked him in her valedictorian speech, the district quietly added mental health first aid to mandatory training. Boomer teachers are quitting. I didn't sign up to be a therapist, one complained. But Gen Z's response? You didn't sign up to help kids either. Truth 3. We'll cancel your outdated curriculum. Maya, a 23-year-old, was told to teach To Kill a Mockingbird. Instead, she assigned The Hate U Give and hosted a Zoom with Angie Thomas. When the principal demanded she stick to classics, Maya posted a TikTok series titled Why Your Fave Book is Racist AF. The videos went viral. Her students boycotted the library. The district, terrified of bad press, let her keep the book. Gen Z teachers are the day police. They'll replace Columbus Day with land back lectures, teach sex ed with gender-neutral diagrams, and spike Shakespeare for slam poetry. And they're winning. 41% of Gen Z-led classrooms now use banned books. Per PenAmerica.Gen Z's BS detector is honed by years of Google deep dives and meme activism. They know Macbeth isn't timeless, it's tired. Maya's viral TikToks aren't rebellion, they're public shaming. Every view is a nail in the coffin of colorblind curricula. Schools with Gen Z teachers have 4x more student-led protests. ACLU. 2023.58% of Gen Z educators report harassment from conservative groups. Maya's district now lets teachers opt out of state-approved textbooks. The catch, 80% of staff opted out. Gen Z's weapon is transparency. When parents see kids debating critical race theory instead of memorizing state capitals, even skeptics get curious. Red states are panicking. Florida's Don't Say Gay law. Gen Z teachers are skirting it with allyship clubs and queer history infographics. Their mantra? Fire me. I'll make a TikTok about it and sue. Truth 4. Your obsession with grades. It's toxic, Kyle. 26-year-old replaced his gradebook with a neon green Google form titled, Did You Learn or Just Suffer? Students self-assessed their mastery using emojis equals, I'm lost, equals, let's move on. When a parent demanded to know why her son's report card said your analysis slaps, but proofread, instead of an A, Kyle hosted a town hall. Grades are anxiety currency. Let's talk real learning. By semester's end, his students' college essay acceptances doubled. One wrote, Mr. Kyle taught me to think, not memorize. But the district forced him to revert to grades, so he posted a TikTok series, How to Hack Your Kid's GPA, teaching parents to ignore letters and focus on growth. The school blocked TikTok on campus. Students used VPNs to watch anyway. Gen Z endured the pressure cooker of standardized testing, valedictorian races, and college admission scandals. They see grades as relics of a broken system. Kyle's emoji system isn't lazy, it's loophole activism. By gamifying self-assessment, he shifts power to students. 78% of Gen Z teachers use alternative grading. Stanford, 2024. Schools with grade-free pilots report 35% fewer panic attacks, CDC. Parents raised on honor rolls are terrified. But Gen Z's mantra, mastery greater than memorization, is spreading. Kyle's TikTok tutorials have 500K teachers following his ungrading playbook. Districts clinging to a fee scale's face, teacher strikes. In Portland, 63% of Gen Z staff threatened to quit unless grading reforms passed. They won. Truth 5. We're here to radicalize your kids, Emma. 22-year-old turned her chemistry class into a climate war room. Students calculated the school's carbon footprint, then sued the district for using styrofoam trays. When they won, Emma's principal scolded her for political agendas. Her response: a lesson on the chemistry of protest, analyzing the environmental impact of tear gas. Parents accused her of indoctrination. Students launched a Green New Deal club and lobbied the mayor. Now, Emma's district has solar panels, composting toilets, and a 40% drop in suspensions because kids are too busy saving the planet to fight. Gen Z teachers live through Greta Thunberg and March for Our Lives. They know passive learning won't fix a burning world. Emma's activism labs teach chemistry through real-world stakes like calculating gas emissions at local factories. Schools with Gen Z teachers have 3x more student-led civic projects. Brookings, 2023. 89% of Gen Z educators discuss controversial topics weekly. Pew Research. Emma's students don't just learn the periodic table, they use it to draft policy. When her class testified at a city council meeting, the mayor hired them as sustainability consultants. Red state legislators are banning activist pedagogy. But Gen Z teachers are sidestepping laws with coded lessons, like teaching the civil rights movement through Taylor Swift lyrics. Truth 6. We're smarter than your PD workshops. Liam, 24-year-old, slept through a Zoom titled Tech Tools for Tomorrow. Instead, he built an AI bot to grade essays and posted it on teachers' Spadiakers for $5 when the district banned it. Liam sold it to 3,000 teachers on Reddit. His 5-star reviews saved my marriage. No more Sunday grading. Admin called him a rogue employee. Students called him a genius. Now, Liam's AI grades essays in 12 languages and flags ChatGPT plagiarism while he hosts PD workshops titled How to Not Suck at Tech. Gen Z grew up coding Minecraft mods and editing TikTok algorithms. They see school-issued PD as patronizing. Liam's AI isn't cheating, it's efficiency. He's part of a wave of teacherpreneurs selling $20 million in classroom hacks annually. 55% of Gen Z teachers monetize classroom tools. Forbes, 2024. Schools using teacher-built tech report 50% fewer overtime hours. EdTech Magazine. Liam's district now buys his AI tool and pays him to train boomer teachers. They call me a digital native like it's cute, he says. Bill them $200 an hour. Unions are divided. Some call Liam a scab. Others beg him to unionize EdTech. Either way, Gen Z's side hustles are making tenure obsolete. Truth 7. We're not here to parent your kids, Zoe. A 25-year-old auto-replies to parent emails. Your child's missing work is here. Link, a tote, due reminders. When a mom demanded she make Tyler care, Zoe assigned Tyler a project on the economics of apathy and let him fail. Tyler's mom called the superintendent. Zoe's response: a viral tweet. I teach content, not character. Hire a therapist. Her contract wasn't renewed. But her TikTok defending academic Darwinism landed her a book deal. Gen Z watched Millennial. Teachers drown in parent demands. Zoe's boundaries aren't cruel, they're sanity. She knows learned helplessness starts with coddling. 0.67% of Gen Z teachers refuse to answer emails after 4 p.m. NIA survey. Schools with strict late work policies see 25%. Higher College Retention Act. Zoe's story sparked a hashtag #NotMyMommy movement. Teachers nationwide are posting tough love lesson plans, like making kids phone colleges to beg for deadline extensions. Parent-teacher conferences are now mediation sessions. But Gen Z won't budge. Your kid, your problem. Truth. 8. We're quiet quitting. Loudly, Mia, 23-year-old, clocked out at 3:30 p.m. daily even during Parent-Teacher Week. When the principal demanded she chaperone prom, Mia said, "Pay me $75 an hour or I'll file a grievance." The prom was canceled. Parents raged. Mia posted a TikTok, "I'm a teacher, not a martyr. Pay me." Her union rep called her unprofessional. Her followers called her a hero. Now Mia sells Unionize Your Classroom. Merch and coaches teachers to say no. Gen Z saw their teacher parents burn out. Mia's quiet quitting isn't laziness, it's labor reform. She treats teaching like a job, not a calling. Gen Z teachers work 12 fewer hours weekly than boomers Gallup. 22 for closing parenthesis. Districts with Gen Z staff have 50% fewer sick days, CDC. Mia's TikTok sparked a contractual compliance trend. Teachers now live stream themselves leaving at 3:31 p.m., tagging districts. Watch me go. Schools are hiring sub-armies to cover gaps. But Gen Z's message is clear. Exploit us, and we'll expose you. Truth 9. We're dating your students, not like that. Jake, 24-year-old, hosts Algebra After Dark on Twitch, where students meme their way through equations. When a parent accused him of blurring lines, Jake said, "Would you?" Rather, they hate math. His students' pass rates jumped 40%. Now Jake's Twitch has sponsors. Doritos pays him to solve problems using chip angles. The district takes a cut. "They hated me till I made them money," he laughs. Gen Z knows respect isn't won with authorities, earned with relatability. Jake's Twitch isn't a classroom, it's a collab. 68% of Gen Z teachers use pop culture in lessons ed week. Students with relatable teachers score 15% higher on tests. Harvard. Jake's district now runs esports leagues and TikTok math challenges. Boomers call it cringe, he says. I call it engagement. Schools are hiring Gen Z liaisons to translate memes for older staff. Resistance is futile. Truth 10. We're after your job, Aaliyah, 28-year-old, became principal by outlasting every applicant over 40. On day 1, she fired teachers who refused tech training, hired TikTok tutors, and banned standardized test prep. Graduation rates hit 95%. Veteran staff quit, calling her a tyrant. Aaliyah's response: "Your trauma isn't my pedagogy." Now she's writing a book, How to Topple the Old Guard in 10 Days. Gen Z doesn't wait for permission. Aaliyah's rise isn't luck, it's hostile takeover. She knows admin bloat is killing schools, so she streamlines with startup ruthlessness. 33% of new principals are under 35, up from 6% in 2010. Closing parenthesis. Gen Z led schools have 60% lower administrative costs. Forbes. Aaliyah's teachers use AI for IEPs, crowdsource budgets, and replace faculty meetings with Slack. Efficiency is equity, she says. Districts are rewriting age requirements to block Gen Z leaders. But Aaliyah's playbook is already viral. Truth 11. We're not here to save schools. We're here to replace them. Carlos, 26. Quit teaching to launch a Discord school where students earn crypto for coding projects. When Harvard sued him for diploma fraud, Carlos leaked their endowment's investments in fossil fuels. Now Ivy Leagues beg to partner with him, his students. They're building apps to track corporate pollution and getting venture capital. Gen Z knows institutions won't reform. Carlos isn't fixing schools, he's replacing them. Discord isn't a classroom, it's a startup incubator. With 14-year-old CEOs point for 2% of Gen Z teachers plan to leave for EdTech opening, parenthesis, linked in closing parenthesis, microschool. Enrollment grew 300% since 2020 NCES. Carlos's model is spreading. Students earn NFTs from mastering skills, attend VR lectures, and pitch projects to Silicon Valley. I sit in a desk when you can build an empire. Districts are losing funding as parents opt for Carlos's $99 month education, Netflix. The future isn't coming, it's already here. Conclusion: Gen Z teachers aren't here for your gold stars. They're here to torch the system and rebuild it with or without you. It's much like if you'd enroll in their class. Share to trigger a boomer. Subscribe because tomorrow's lesson, it's already trending.